it's preparing. All right, so we are streaming to YouTube, so people can watch that live right now, and then that will live on the Rancho's YouTube page afterwards as well, if you would like to go back and catch anything you want to watch again, or for anybody who missed this live, they will be able to watch it after the fact. So welcome to everybody who is on YouTube right now, watching live, and to those of you watching in the future. And for right now, I am turning it over to Allison to get us started. And Allison, you are still muted, so unfortunately we cannot hear you yet.
Well, I have to say, while muted, I sounded absolutely fantastic, but okay, we'll start again. So, 1 year ago, on March 11th, the World Health Organization declared COVID-19 a global pandemic. 1 year ago, on March 12th, the stay-at-home orders went into effect and the Rancho had to close its doors. For me, it's an emotional moment when I step back and recall life prior to the pandemic and take stock of just how much has changed. I mean, these 12 months, as I think we can all relate to, have tested everyone's resolve. And it's amazing to think what the Rancho has done in the face of this crisis. Is not only did we weather COVID-19 to date, but we reopened our doors on June 3rd when we were told that our grounds were essential to people's mental health and wellness, and we have remained open ever since. And this past weekend, and as of Monday, we are so thrilled that museums who have not been able to have their doors open are able to do so. They have been shut, they've lost income, they've lost visitorship. Rancho Los Cerritos has been incredibly fortunate, due primarily in part to our volunteers. And as I mentioned, we've been open since June 3rd, and then we were able to open the inner courtyard in August, and we have never had to shut down, and that is thanks to all of you, staff included. It's our volunteers that have been our frontline people who have enabled us to welcome thousands of people during this pandemic to our site. And we are on a continued trajectory of opening up the indoor portions of the museum. In the next few weeks, we will be polling volunteers about their interest, about volunteering at the Rancho and in what capacity. We will open the indoors. However, we want to do it safely, and we need your support. So when you receive this poll from Laura, please answer honestly. Let us know how you want to help out and what we can do to make that happen. And as we open more of our space, we do need your continued amazing support. So please be patient. It may not happen as quickly as some of you would like it to, but we will be opening the indoors, and we ask for your support and your patience as we do this. And to our amazing volunteers, I now want to turn this over to Sarah, who's going to take us into our next portion. Sarah?
Hi, everyone. It's so great to be here with you all. I'm going to introduce our presentation for this evening, which is a curatorial project that has been going on for quite some time. It first started in 2016 when we developed a textile committee, kind of a subcommittee of our curatorial volunteers. And this is a wonderful group of volunteers who have been working very diligently through our textile collection. And so just to go back a little bit, why we have a textile committee. So we started this project, this really extensive project, to better manage our very extensive textile collection. So we have hundreds of items that are stored either in boxes or stored in hanging hanging storage, and I'll show you some photographs in just a moment. But we have a really wide variety of textiles in our collection. We have things like dresses, suits, children's clothes, shoes, hats, all types of materials. We even have some really interesting bathing suits. And so let me give you a little tour to show you where these items are stored. It's not allowing me to share. If I could get permission, I'd love to show some photographs, please. So as far as where these textiles came from, they came from a variety of sources. So a lot of them are original to the site or original to the Bixby family. They're pieces that belong to Bixby family members. But others came into our collection just over the years of us being a museum and a collecting repository. And so they may have been donated or acquired because they fit within the time period that we discuss and present at the Rancho, or because they belong to somebody who lived in Long Beach during that time period. But also there were less museums and less places collecting in our area than there is now. And so a lot of times things were brought to us that it was just because we were a museum collecting. So let me show you where these textiles live. So this may look a little bit familiar to some of you. This is the gate that goes into the maintenance yard that is closed to the public. So when you enter the gate, this is the storage trailer. Go a little bit further, you go into the trailer, and the trailer is divided into two rooms. So this first room has a lot of textile items that are stored in boxes. So things like shoes and hats, along with other parts of our collection. So photographs like nitrate negatives, which we spoke about last time, but also paintings, artwork, furniture. A real mix of our collections are stored in here, and also textiles. One of the reasons that our textiles collection is stored in this trailer is because the trailer is air conditioned. And so textiles really do best when they're in a controlled environment. So this is kind of the back room, the second room in our storage trailer. And this is where we have hanging textile storage. So a lot of dresses, suits, long skirts, things like that. And then this is a better shot of hanging textiles. So the textiles have been stored in this trailer for a long time. I think almost 20 years. I don't know if Steve's here, can correct me. But before that, textiles were actually stored in the adobe. They were actually stored in my old office and Steve's office before me. So these textiles have been part of our collection for a long time. And the Rancho has displayed these textile pieces over the years. Certainly not all the pieces, but we have displayed textiles as part of different exhibits and interpretation at the site. And we really want to continue to display our textile pieces and show even more of what we have. We also need to deaccession pieces. And what that means is getting rid of pieces, which I know sounds kind of alarming, but it's a really common and important practice that museums have. And that's because you're better able to take care of your collections if you have enough space and resources. And so when I mentioned earlier that some of the textiles we have are just there because there weren't many other museums around back in the day when we acquired them, we do have pieces in our collection that probably would be more appropriate somewhere else. And so that is part of what the Textile Committee is doing. They're going through piece by piece and considering the condition, and I will let Diana go into more of what they do, but they're also looking to see what is actually appropriate for display, what is actually consistent with our collection and our interpretation. And so by gathering information with these textile workdays, we can then look at the collection and determine what needs to be repaired, what needs to be preserved, and what needs to find a home that is not Rancho Los Cerritos. And so that's what deaccessioning means. And so with that, I'm going to hand it over to Diana to share even more about what the Textile Committee does.
Hi, everyone. I'm Diana. I've been a school tour docent since 2011. My husband and I, we also do living history encampments as well as living history performances in Calico Ghost Town. And when we started reenacting in 2001, I had a dress made for me at that time. As you can imagine, that is not a cheap venture. So in 2003, I dove headfirst into making these dresses, these period clothing on my own, using truly Victorian patterns for authenticity. And I now have 45 garments in my extra closet, all dating from 1860s to 1912. And for those of you who remember Dana Farrelly, she used to be a school tour docent about 8 years ago, longer than that probably. We both shared a passion for period fashion. So we started a fashion and history show group that emphasis is on history. We wanted to educate not only how fashions evolved, but what women were doing while they were wearing these garments. So our first show was in 2005 here at the Rancho, and we have done 3 more here since then. In 2013, I think it was, the Rancho commissioned me to make clothing for the staff for a special event, as well as some for the loaner closet. And our previous curator, Tori, she pulled me aside one day after school tours and asked me to help her identify the correct date era of, just from pictures of some of the collection. She had Past Perfect up on her monitor. So when Sarah became our curator in 2016, wasn't it? She put out a call to the docents to see who would be interested in working the textiles, which was led by then intern Dina White. And I was like, I will. In February of 2018, as Dina was leaving, Sarah asked if I would like to lead the project. And after the video, we'll discuss how being a really detailed list maker is actually a good thing. So we hope you enjoy this sneak peek at our Rancho Textile Workday.
All right, so that's my cue, and I have a video to share with you all. So I know sometimes the sound quality differs when it's traversing across the internet. So I'm going to turn the sound all the way up on my computer, and then you might just need to adjust the sound on your computers at home. So let me just pull this up and I'll start playing.
Hi, I'm Francesca Cornejo.
And I'm Diana Marquez. Welcome to our Textile Workday. I am honored to be the lead for the Textile Committee. And today we have pulled 3 boxes from the trailer and we'll show you what a workday entails. This is box number 202.
202.
And as I do this, Francis is going to be taking notes as I look at everything. And she's also going to write down today's date so that we know when all these items were done. Now, inside each box are inventory reports. About a year and a half ago, pre-pandemic, Elizabeth Hernandez and I came out into the trailer and we took every box, and what we did, she helped me pull them out of the box, and I wrote down the dates or the circa of what year these actually were. A lot of the records will say that this dress is 1860 to 1880. We all know that that's an impossibility because the dress styles changed at least 4 times in that whole date era. So I came out there and gave a more accurate description of it, and the book that I had used was this one. Okay, this gives us an accurate depiction. Now, this I had taught a class about 3 years ago, and this is basically how we start looking to date the dresses or the bodices. We need to know where that shoulder seam is because that will be our first hint at what year the dress was worn. As we get into it, I will show you some dresses that have been altered because obviously they did do that. I mean, if they had a dress in the 1860s and now it's 1870 and the styles have completely changed, or a daughter wants to wear her mother's wedding dress, they're going to alter it to the current fashion. Okay, so the first number that I'll need the card to, so that I can take a picture, is C2006.21.1 A and B. Right?
There you go.
Okay. So what we do first, the tag number on the dress is usually on the inside. Sometimes we'll find it along the seam, sometimes we'll find it along the back neck. Sometimes we don't find one at all. So anyway, I'm going to pull this out. And the first thing that we want to do is take pictures of the item. Now this is item B, and it's a skirt that obviously has a sash. The sash is actually on the front, not the back. As you can see that. So I'm going to stretch this out here. And as you can see, we wear gloves because we don't want the oils of our skin to get onto the dress and damage it.
And as Diana pulls the garment out of the box, I have a form here that contains all the vital statistics, the catalog number from the dress, and I'm going to, we're going to name off various different things, the description, conditions, and so forth as we go on. So as she's calling out these things, I'm kind of the secretary, and I'll be documenting all of her findings as she goes and as she photographs them. So we will just see what we discover.
Now this, according to the record, is the wedding dress of Sally Ross, who got married in October of 1868. It just says blue.
Okay.
And then if you want to copy this off on what it is, that way you don't have to do it. Anyway, it says it is a blue silk bodice and skirt. Now, also according to the record, she had a daughter who had it repurposed. Wasn't it her daughter that was at the bottom?
Yes. Altered and reused circa 1889 to 90.
Okay, now that is really interesting that she got married in 1868. So let's see how they repurposed this dress. This was obviously here. And you can see right here how they did some alterations. The bodice wasn't. Now, in 1868, the skirt would have been really wide, wider than it would have been in 1889, because 1889 they were basically starting to be straighter dresses. Not tight, but just straighter, you know, and they were short length and things like that. So fortunately for her, in 1868, they didn't have trains. That wasn't until the 1870s that it was all the rage. So with this, the circumference of the skirt would have been a little wide, and they fixed it. They made modifications. But fortunately, the street length of the late 1860s was easily adapted to 1889, where everything was straight length. Unless it was a ball gown or something like that. Okay, so now I'm going to measure it.
Part of taking the front and the back length is important, and it does help us to further identify the era.
Now this actually was a side back opening. As you can see, here's the two side sash panels to be the front, And then here's the side back opening. So if you want to make a note of that in case someone has to put it on a mannequin, they're not sure. So it opens at the side back. Alright. Now we go into what is the damage to the dress. The hemline has tears all the way around.
Are those tears just from general use
It's like
and
where,
walking?
it's like where the hemline is totally slit all the way around.
Okay. Just consistent with normal
Yeah.
usage?
Just from the silk. It's like the silk has come away from the hemline. The hemline also has stiffener in it.
Okay.
Now, back then they used what was called horsehair.
Yeah.
Now, also the back has moth holes all the way down. Quite a few moth holes. I'm going to take a picture of that because we like to have that in the record.
But a general good condition would still be
I
suitable
would say
for
it's in good
display.
condition.
It would still be something that would be good for display.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Stable. Right. And it's a side back closing with hook and eye. And it's a 24-inch waist.
Wow.
Now, this is interesting. You can see the 1860s pleats. See those teeny, tiny pleats? They wouldn't have been doing that in 1889. And then they had to, of course, as I said before, they're modifying it. And you can see the modifications in here. They made it a straight front with no pleats in it, except for the darts in the front. And as I said earlier, they have a dart here, and only, dart, and then a dart off to the side, which is interesting because it doesn't seem like it would match. But I haven't seen the bodice yet, so it probably covered it up.
Okay. Very good.
Here is the bodice. Oh, isn't it darling?
Oh, wow.
Oh my goodness.
There's the 22-inch waist.
That is
24.
gorgeous.
Oh my goodness. Look at
How
those little
cute
buttons.
is that? We always sit here and get all excited doing this because these things are just so gorgeous. And you know, they probably would have taken quite a bit of this this bodice apart in order to refashion it. This, for one thing, and it does match it. So really, they had to have taken some of the pieces out of it in order to make this little piece right here. You know, try to find enough material over to do that. But it did a really
Or
good
perhaps
job.
even from skirt. If there was excess that they removed from the skirt, it might have been perfect, would have been a
Thank you. I
great
didn't even
repurpose.
think of that.
It would have been a great repurpose.
Okay, so we're going to do some measurements. Okay, and the problems with this is that there's underarm staining on, oh, there's stains all over. It looks like somebody took mud and just flung it at her. There's staining here, there's quite a bit of staining. Staining here. Staining on the back. Seriously, it looks like somebody flung mud at her.
Might have been a good wedding celebration.
Congratulations on your wedding.
There you go.
Here's mud. Here's mud in your eye. Yeah, it's.
Is it also moth-eaten like the skirt?
It has only on the back. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 moth holes, 7 moth holes just on the back. It has moth holes up on the right. Both underarms have moth holes.
And equally important when we re-tack them, that we try to tack them in such a way, folds and creases, because we don't know how long until they escape from the box again. So we want to just take extra care depending upon the type of fabric it is, the garment that it is. So we'll just kind of tack them in such a way that's appropriate for that item.
Okay, so the next step is for me to take all of our data and I'm going to go into catalog it. I'm going to find each catalog number and I'm going to edit the information that is already written there with my new findings. And that would be correcting the date era, which is very important, so that when Sarah does a search for a certain date era that she wants to exhibit, everything will come up instead of everything from 1860 to 1880, things like that. Okay, and then the next thing I'll do on catalog it is that all the pictures that I took with my phone, and this is the greatest part because I can either upload the pictures directly from my phone here at home, or I could have done it the day that we did the video with Alana. So it's really handy to have catalog it, and I really like it a lot better than Past Perfect.
All right, so that's it for the video. So I'm going to turn it back over to Diana. So if you have any questions, you can type them in the chat on YouTube. You can type them in the chat on YouTube, and then we'll bring those to her in just a moment. Diana?
Well, I'll tell you a little bit more about how we started this huge endeavor. I knew I had to be organized in order to finish this off because, as you saw in the trailer, in fact, if you went into the trailer and actually saw all the racks, I mean, there's like 4 racks on the ground that are just huge, and then 2 along the back row. It's more impressive in person. So first, as I think I said before, I had to determine the date era of the rest of the hanging garments that had not been done yet. So I put a tag over each hanger so that way each team that went in and worked on a different day than me, they would already have all that information and not have to worry about finding it. And that included points of interest for the condition report, such as when items have an inner belt known as a Petersham, we can list that on the report. Now, a Petersham closes in the front. It's actually an inner belt, closes in the front. It will hold the back of the bodice up against the back of the wearer, and it gives it more of a fine line. Or we also make notes of a balayage, which is just a fancy name for dust ruffle. Now, since the patterns that I use are drawn from period garments, that helps me to date the items as well, because I'll recognize that pattern construction. Now, Carrie Linshaw assisted me with this huge task, and she's really good at identifying different laces, so she was really an asset. Frances Cornejo's knowledge of children's clothing is outstanding, so she's in charge of reporting and dating those. And then I created a spreadsheet of all the garment catalog numbers to make sure all the pieces were worked. And Joan Sasaki also led a workday team, and she made sure that the process ran smoothly when I couldn't be there as well. And let me see, the team also notes on our large spreadsheet if an item, once they're working it, should this be for exhibit, we'll put an E. Should this be deaccessioned, and we'll put a D. And then that way I can make another report for Sarah. And right now we are just on the boxes. But every member of the team, usually we have 3 members to a team on a work day. One is secretary, as you saw Frances doing. One will be taking pictures and putting them away, and another would be doing the verbal reporting and do the measurements like you saw me doing. So it was quite an organized engine that we had going on there, and it worked out really well. And I did want to give a shout out to all the members of our team that I haven't mentioned yet: Vicky Pard, Sherry Nieto, Joyce Zadaka, Kathleen Tierney, Laura Salazar, Nancy Voiles, Elizabeth Hernandez, and Dina White. And we have over 400, maybe more, I lost count, hanging garments in the trailer. So in late 2019, after 3 long years, we were so excited when we did the condition report for that very last one. And so as I'm putting these last garments away, I noticed the boxes on the shelves. And as I'm walking by them, I saw one that said dresses and children's clothes. And I went, what? I don't remember that. And so I opened one of the boxes, and I saw bodices and skirts in the boxes. And I looked at the catalog numbers in Past Perfect, and some had no pictures, no date era, no recent condition report. And so just when we thought that we were done with this project, we weren't. So the boxes were almost complete when the pandemic hit. And so last year I was basically working on them with my husband mostly. Now, my favorite part of working the textiles is seeing extant garments in great condition, which is what Alana's going to show you right now. Isn't it beautiful? This is the late 1890s, by the way. Black satin in perfect condition. Anyway, does anyone have any questions about what the committee does, the textile work days? I think I probably explained almost everything. So if anyone has any questions.
Diana, the first question, in addition to all the kudos from everyone, is how did you gain all your knowledge? It can't just be from books.
Knowledge of what?
Your extensive knowledge of this, of textiles and their history.
Right, but I'm not hearing the question.
How did you gain all of your knowledge?
How did I gain my knowledge? Is that what you said?
Yes.
I've been researching these since the year 2000. So I knew basically the dress that I wanted to have made in 2001 when we first started getting into this. So it's just been, I also have some extant pieces in my closet. I have about 8 or 10, so I can look at how these are put together and just basically like that. Other ladies who were interested in it, Dana Ferrelli was a big help because she had been doing it before I had, things like that. I see Allison that says, do we have any undergarments? Allison, we have way too many undergarments. There are more bloomers in there than a woman can wear in a lifetime. So yeah, we do. Some of them need to be deaccessioned or thrown in the loaner closet, let somebody wear them. They're really good condition. Tell us about the blue wedding dress. The blue wedding dress, as the video said, what exactly did you want to know? The video said it was worn by one woman in 1868. I did want to show you this, and then it was repurposed to have this type of style, not exactly, but close enough. There's no bustle in 1889. It started to go away. The bustle by 1888, you've probably seen them in pictures. They look almost like a shelf. You know, they are so high and so big. 1889, they basically just changed it with a small pad. So really going from 1868 to having it repurposed in 1889 really wasn't very difficult to do. They didn't have to worry about accommodating a huge bustle of 1880 3 over the biggest of 1888. So what did that basically answer your question, or did you want me to say anything else about that wedding dress? And when or why did wedding, oh yeah, wedding dresses didn't really become white until after the turn of the century, 1900. Even though Queen Victoria, when she got married, she wore white, everyone thinks, oh, she's the one who started the fad. Yes and no. People were still basically wearing their best dress, depending on where they were. You did see some white dresses or cream dresses. What I am seeing in extant pieces that are still almost like new are gold brocade. You won't believe how many gold brocade wedding dresses I have. Now, I'm sorry, I've seen. I do have an late 1870s wedding dress that my aunt, she's a curator, she was a curator of the Coulterville, California Museum. She gave me one of these pieces that she had in her own personal collection. She just didn't have any more room. And it was ivory. She said it was never white. It was an ivory wedding dress, and it's just darkened a little bit. But after 1900, it became all the rage that everybody wanted a white wedding dress, and this is how it is now. And what about men's fashions? Oh, Gregory, you're gonna kill me. I'd have to go get everything that I have. The person you want to talk to is my husband, Gene. He knows all about men's fashions. I say, you go buy it off the rack because it's so much better to do that. Women, and Laura will know this for a fact, we have to make ours. We can't find anything good off the rack. Men have great things that they can buy off the racks. It's just wonderful. Yeah, Gene has way too many vests in this closet. He's showing you everything that he has. Do we have some in the, yes, we do have men's fashions, but not as many as we would like to have. Now, when Dina was here, I did not work every single work day, so I didn't see the items that she saw. So just personally, what I know from the spreadsheet of everything that I had to write down, you know, what we were working, I did not see a lot of men fashions. We had some really interesting pieces, red and white stripe pants that you might be interested in seeing. They're really funky. We do have some men's coats, and I know exactly where they are. I could tell Laura if she ever wants to pull them out or show anybody. They're across the back wall on the lower side. Those is where basically where the men's are. The men's fashions, the only thing that I can see that have changed on men's fashions, we all know what a morning coat is, right? It looks like a cutaway, the morning coats. What I've noticed about them is that the vests were about the only thing that really changed. Some of them will have like thick lapels, collars. Again, talk to this man over here and he can show you all the different vests and all the different years. I also have information going into the 1920s and 30s. I have books on this. If anybody's, is Greg doing living history for the Bixby's or for the after 1900 Bixby's? Greg? Okay. Felix picture about what we have in the days can refer. Yeah, and then you would also want to refer to Sarah if you have any questions about what's out there in the trailer, because she can just look it up in the database. And then Marcia asked, do you wear the late 1890s black dress? Do you know who wore the late 1890s black dress bodice? No, it just came from someone's collection who donated to the Rancho. We have a lot where people just collect, like what I told you, I have like 8 or 10 in my closet. I don't know who wore them. They're just from my collection. They would have my name on it saying this is from Diana Marquez's collection. And that's all we know. We do have quite a few pieces that are donated saying this was worn by my grandmother. We have some Bixby pieces, of course, and you would ask Sarah about those and she can pull all of them up. Is this the same for the blue wedding dress? We don't know. Yeah, we don't know who Mrs. Ross is. That's more than likely. Sarah would probably know best because she has the Ascension information, and she would just look it up and catalog it, and she could tell you just whether it was from an owner or whether it was just from someone's collection. Okay, so if a garment changes color over time, you know what? We have seen some items that have changed color over time. When Elizabeth and I were first dating the boxes, we would pull out the inventory sheet that I showed you, and it would say that this is a pink silk bodice. We would pull it out. It doesn't look like pink at all. It looked more like a peach. And then it was said, say with blue stripes, the blue stripes have now turned a mint green. So what we're seeing is something totally different, excuse me, different than what they saw back in the 1950s or the 60s. The other thing that I should probably tell you that's interesting is that when we write down a catalog number and it'll say like C85 point whatever, the C85 means 1985. And I have seen some items in there from the 1960s. I'm pretty sure there's one. Sarah, don't we have C58s from 1958? Does that ring a bell? Okay, so I have too many numbers going through my brain. So when you think about it, a lot of these items, I'm not sure what happened when Steve was here and if he had any, you know, to show everybody out on exhibit. But some of these items you can tell haven't seen the light of day since the 1960s, you know, so it's the main reason Sarah had us do these reporting is that she said we need to deaccession a lot of these. And some of them, it just breaks your heart because some of them are just so gorgeous. We have probably 8 that I know of early 1900 white tea gowns. I know people call them wedding dresses, but they're not wedding dresses. They're made of that real fine lingerie linen. They have embroidery on them. They're just tea gowns or lingerie dresses. We have too many of them. They're in really great shape, but do we really need that many? So when I do the report, I'm going to give them to Sarah. This is how many we have, and pick one that you want. You know, we don't need this many. And let me see. Yeah, right. The garment was donated, accessioned in 1958, for example. That's correct. And when a garment changes color over time, can you change it back to the original color without damaging it? That's not my expertise. I'm going to say no. The only thing that I know to do, and we will actually write this on the reports, if I see something is made of cotton, it has like maybe rust stains on it, I can say this just needs a gentle whitening wash, and we'll write things like that. I quite a few years ago, I had purchased an ebook and I printed it all out, and it shows how to fix, repair problem extant pieces, how to wash them, how to dry clean them, things like that. But you have to go to a dry cleaner that knows what they're doing, which is really hard to find. Okay, so, okay. Oh.
Diana, I just want to thank you. Such an interesting presentation, and I learned so much about things that I've been in the trailer, but I've never peeked in the boxes. So things that I wasn't aware of. We are just so grateful to the entire committee, but especially you and Jean and who have persevered during the pandemic as well. So thank you, and thank you for creating this educational opportunity for us. We're going to turn it over next to Marie, who wants to tell us about what is happening in the gardens. Marie, you're on mute.
Can you hear me now? Okay. They asked me to show you what's going on in the garden, so I thought that I would share from flower to seed the wisteria, which is happening right here and now at the rancho. These photographs were literally taken today. So a few weeks ago, this is what most of the wisteria looked like. Stems that were twisting and winding always clockwise. And they had no leaves. They had hardly even a bump. And then pretty soon you started seeing the buds come out. Now, this is the bud for the single wisteria. And as it starts to open, you can see how the petals start to separate from the clump. The next one sees how they start to lengthen and open up. And that makes a big difference. We're not going to have a dance until they're fully open, and you'll notice at the rancho, those that are in the sunniest area, which is sort of like behind my office, are the most open and wonderfully, of course, fragrant until they are going. This is literally what they looked like this morning.
Marie,
Yes.
a volunteer has written in that they can't see the pictures, that you'll need to share your screen.
It says I am screen sharing. It says I am screen sharing. So I
They
can try
might
a
have
new share.
go into the slideshow view that will make the pictures a little bit bigger.
Screen. Any difference?
If you go up at the top where it has file, home, etc., there's a slideshow. And then you can do from current slide, the second one.
And many of the people can see them, so I'm going to suggest people who can't, there is a little line to the left of Marie's presentation. If you put your pointer on it and drag it over, your picture may get bigger as well. Thank you, Marie. Sorry for the interruption.
No, I'm glad to know that people couldn't see them. This is the last one because I only have a few moments, but I wanted to give you a couple stories about the wisteria as well. The wisteria, this particular wisteria, Wisteria sinensis, was found in the Orient in 1818 and was brought to England. They didn't know what they had, so they potted it up and put it in a greenhouse. And it just didn't do anything, nothing. And it was really discouraging. And after a couple of years, it didn't die, but it didn't grow and it never bloomed. So they put it outside. And you know, when you're working in your garden or in your kitchen or wherever else, and you sort of move something out of your way and then something else distracts you and you forget about it, that is exactly what happened with this wisteria. They set it outside the greenhouse, became busy with other projects, and within a year, it started growing. And if anybody knows wisteria, once it starts growing, getting it to stop is something of a challenge. It can literally reach 40 feet in 1 year. And then it bloomed, and it was a sensation, not just in England, but Europe and eventually America as well. Our wisterias were planted after the 1930 renovation, so in the 1930s, and we have 2 of the 3 that are surviving. One is a single flower, which is the one that I showed you earlier, and the other is a double, which is, I couldn't get a good picture of it today. There was only a couple, and I couldn't get up close enough to them. But they are both fragrant, and they are one of the most popular plants asked about here at the rancho. That literally at one time people would call the rancho saying, "Is a wisteria in bloom yet?" And so I can absolutely tell you that yes, it is in bloom, and it will probably, as long as we don't have a horrific heat wave, please prevent that. It should be in bloom for another 4 to 6 weeks. Come to the rancho, take a walk under the wisteria, and literally surround yourself in the beauty and the fragrance of this wonderful plant. And then I am going to pass it over to Laura, and I'm going to bid you guys a good night with the time change. My schedule means that dark 30 is coming really early. And so I'm going to retire from the program tonight and wish you all a very happy St. Patrick's Day. And I will see you the next time that we have an opportunity. Good night. And Laura, it's all yours.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me? Well, I am very excited to introduce to you this new system that I have been working on it does a lot of wonderful things for me in scheduling and monitoring hours, and it's very powerful for me, but I think you'll find it very fun for you too. You can view your hours whenever you want, see what you've accumulated. And so let me show you how that's going to happen with us. The people who volunteer for public hours have already been introduced to it. We had a little bit of a rocky rollout thanks to some semicolons at the end of people's email addresses. But luckily, the folks at Volgistics told me that was the problem, and that was a pretty easy fix. And about 3/4 of the public hours volunteers have logged on to Volgistics. So I'll show the rest of you how easy that is and how it works. So I am going to share my screen, if I can get that part to come up. Yes, share my screen, and I want to go to, I don't want to go to that. I want to, go to my email, and you will see an email that comes to you from, it says Rancho Los Cerritos, and it will give you a link to click on that will take you to the Volgistics website, and you just click on it.
Laura, excuse me, I think you have the wrong document showing. You have a Teams document.
Okay. Let me close that. Did it go to the Volgistics yet?
You'll have to stop sharing and then reselect what you want to share because it's still showing us the Teams one.
Okay. Let me get this big. Okay, now I can't get back to the Zoom to share my screen.
You have a minute, don't worry.
Okay. Oh, there you are. Okay, I need to expand this. Yes, there. Okay, let me try sharing the screen again. Sorry, everyone. And I have it up on my computer. Why is it not? Oh, I see. Okay, wait. All right, now they. Okay, now do you see my email?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I click on the one that says RLC Volunteer Information Center and click on the link. Now, did it take you? Do you see the Volgistics website? Okay. And it recognizes me for my password. So you make up a password that you want to use. Let's say St. Patrick, because that's coming up. And you hit go, and this recognizes me, and you see a box over here. It's asking if you want to update it, and if you do that, then it'll have that information. You won't have to remember that password, so you just click that, and you'll be good to go. And now it's reverted to my as a volunteer coordinator, which it won't do for you because you are not the volunteer coordinator. So now I'm going to enter my password. And you will get this screen here that has all different options of how you can interact with your Rancho Los Cerritos volunteer information. So you can check your schedule. If you see here, if you're a public hours volunteer, it'll show you the schedule and where we need help. As you see, oh, look it. Did people sign up for, oh, no, we still need help this Saturday. So I click on that and you can see we need 1 volunteer in the morning and 1 volunteer in the afternoon. And you can navigate and go to one day or the next. If you click on the home screen, you can, I would like you to go to your profile. And you see it has your information here. And please check in. When I migrated everybody's information, I did not know if your phone number was your home phone, your work phone, or your cell phone. So if that is, your phone number is not in the right box, if you could add it and check if it's okay for me to contact you. If you could please add your emergency contact information, that would be very helpful. And I would love for people to enter your birthday so that we can wish you a happy birthday on your special day. And you can even add a photo, even though I know what you all look like. You can go to the My Schedule, and there we are again with that. You can see how much time you have volunteered. This year here is when you started. That's not really when I started because I'm not a volunteer, but in your record, it will show the year that you started and your life hours. You can go to timesheet, and that if you are volunteering at home or you forget to sign in when you're at the Rancho, you can just click on the date and say what time you served, and you always want to pick how you volunteered. Let's say you were a gardener and continue, and then that will log your hours. So that is one aspect of it. This is how you can interact with the Volgistics from home. When you come on site starting next month, we are going to have you sign in on an iPad, and I will navigate you to that. I will try to navigate you to that. Here we go, Vic Touch. When you were at your the previous one, your information center, there was a volunteer number, which I should have showed you. I don't have that tab still open, but I know my number is 144. So I enter that. And if you don't remember your number, the staff on duty will be able to look your number up. And then you hit continue, and it'll ask if it's you. And that was there because I haven't started paying for it yet. We'll start paying for it when we start using it. And if you want to sign in, you do, and you want to pick which area you're going to be volunteering in. Oh, I'm here to be a public hours volunteer. I don't see that. Oh, I'm going to click the more button, and then I'll pick the public hours. And it has the time, and I'm checking in. Remind you, please remember to sign out. If you don't, it'll let me know, and then I can fix that. But please do remember to sign out. That will be helpful. So that is my little overview of Volgistics. Does anybody have any questions?
We have a question from YouTube. Did the link already get sent out?
No, the link has only been sent out to the public hours volunteers so far.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yes, so probably next week, but definitely before April, I will send the link out to the rest of the folks. I use the public hours volunteers as guinea pigs, which is a good thing because I would have been really frustrated if I tried to send it to everybody and only 10 people got it, which is what happened when I did it with the public hours volunteers. But it was very easy to fix, and I think it'll work really easily for the rest of you. Any other questions? Okay. So we're moving on.
Sorry, Laura, there were questions in the chat. So
okay.
The question is, once we get back to school tours or when the visitor center is closed, how do people sign in and sign out?
So the sign in, like for instance, the gardeners, when they sign in, there's going to be an iPad that will be on one of the tables under the veranda. Public hours volunteers will sign in on one of the iPads that we're using. When curatorial volunteers are volunteering, Sarah will have an iPad that she can have you sign in.
So like our old booklet, people should know to ask.
Right. It'll be, instead of signing in on paper, you'll just be signing in into a computer or an iPad.
Okay, and so do you want to show people individually when they come on site if they're confused, or do you want to, people are asking where to find their number and where the monthly view is again.
All right, you want me to share my screen again and show you that?
Yeah, and finally, how to find the program.
You mean, oh, yes. Well, so when you get the invitation, that will take you to the program, like when I clicked on my email. But if you lose it, you can just contact me and I can send you the link again. But let me show you again. Let's see if I have that open. Well, I can go back to my email. No, where was my email? Okay. So here I am at my email again. Oops, password reset. I have to have a new one. It will be in the tab with your sorry folks, I already used that link, so I can't use it again. I guess I could go to Volgistics and send me another link and do that.
That's okay. We have two raised hands, one from Laura Breen. Laura, can you unmute yourself?
I didn't raise my hand. It's Laura. I don't think I raised my hand, but I guess I could ask a question. Do you hear me?
Okay. Yes, I do.
You know, I already did do the login and updated my emergency information, but then I thought, well, I'll go back again, like maybe if I wanted to sign up for a day, but I couldn't. How do you go back again, or you'll be telling us that? You couldn't go in again, right?
You should be able to go in again if you saved so when you're at the website, if you go up to the top of your browser and there's a little star all the way to the right that you can bookmark the website.
Okay.
And then you can return to it. And if you forget to do that, then I can just send you the link again.
Yeah, and then okay, Mike, because my question was then, do you need to know the ranch, or when you go to like the website, do you have to know?
It will only take you to the rancho. You won't be admitted in anywhere else.
I feel like I went to the general website and you had to like have a name or a number for the place.
Oh, I don't think so, but did you find yourself? Did it recognize you?
No, only that first time I was able to go in and, you know, update my information. And then when I attempted to go again, not because your link didn't work anymore, I just went to the website and I couldn't figure it out. But it's okay. Well, I'm sure it'll all come together later.
I will send you a link that will take you there, and you should be able to log in if you remembered your password. And if you don't, then of course they'll let you reset your password.
And did you want us to start to sign up for days using that right now, or no?
Yes, please.
Oh.
I've been hoping that you would fill one of those empty spots that is on Saturday.
I can't. I'm going to Santa Barbara Saturday. Sorry, I can't do Saturday.
Oh, well, maybe I'll see you. Sorry.
Luckily, Laura still has email. Laura Wilbanks still has email and can make sure that anyone who's having trouble or concerns or isn't getting the link, we can update that. Now, I do want to say, bear with us maybe until this weekend as we get everything ironed out. But thank you for those who have served as guinea pigs, not really knowing that you were serving as guinea pigs. But we really appreciate it. And we're really excited as we move forward with our volunteer record keeping and accessing information. Y'all have been asking for this for some time. Laura's done a heck of a job to transfer all of your records into this system. And now we all just have to get familiar with using it.
I hope it'll work really well. It seems to most of the time, so I'm really excited. If there's no more questions, we can move into getting to see all of you and sharing.
All right, bear with us while Alana and I change your status.
You've changed a lot.
Okay, I think we're all promoted to panelists so that we should be able to see each other. Yes, there you all are. So I have really been inspired by spring popping out all about us, and it's really brightened things up after that winter that we had. So I wanted to share with you something really exciting that I was able to observe at the Rancho recently. Hope I can do this better this time. A couple Saturdays ago, I was just admiring the red buds that are in bloom. And I was looking at this egg case here, and I was wondering, what kind of egg case is this? And then I looked, oh, look it. There's these little praying mantises. About 400 of them had just emerged, and they were crawling all over the place. And these are, you know, about as big as they would fit on your pinky fingernail. They are just the itty bittiest little things. So that was really exciting. And what was really exciting is that it happened in the middle of the day. So all of the morning volunteers and all of the afternoon volunteers got to see it. And it was lots of fun. So my conversation starter is, what have the rest of you been observing that has been brightening your world in the last few days? Anybody want to share?
I've been enjoying.
I'll share.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. I've been enjoying the butterflies. They're just kind of everywhere. The bad wind, though, has kind of, I don't know, they've hit out or something. Like today, I only saw maybe 4 or 5, but my previous shift, I saw just scads of butterflies. It's wonderful.
It's been really great watching the butterflies. The guests and the volunteers alike have really enjoyed seeing the chrysalises and the butterflies emerging. And one day I went and I showed a volunteer, and there was a caterpillar was hanging. It hangs like in a little J, and it still was a caterpillar. An hour later, I took another volunteer to show it to them, and it had already turned into a chrysalis. So it's been lots of fun. All right.
Yeah, the chrysalis is definitely my favorite. And I need to find out from Marie, what is the right milkweed to order? Because there's many different types. And so that's one thing. But the last couple of days, I actually was in Arizona, and I was driving back from Colorado for my niece's memorial service and my mom's 90th birthday. And I thought, oh, I don't want to drive through Arizona. But my spouse got us a really beautiful drive out of Winslow to Phoenix, or to Scottsdale. And it was gorgeous, gorgeous. South 68, if you ever get into Arizona and you don't. I'm sorry, 87, South 87. See? Can't get you the wrong way. Anyway, that's what I experienced the last few days.
And who would you like to pass the mic to, Gregory?
How about Alina?
What have I experienced? This is the time of year where I really love coming to the Rancho each day and seeing what is in bloom that wasn't in bloom. So it was the daffodils and the irises, and now the wisteria. So I really have enjoyed seeing that. And to me, that signals spring is when the flowers start blooming at Rancho Los Cerritos. And I'll pass it to, let's do Grace.
Okay, I have poppies blooming in my yard, and I have a chrysalis hanging on my wall. Oh, my pitcher sage is absolutely gorgeous. It fills up what used to be almost my entire vegetable garden. So I can pass it to Ina.
hear me now? So I was just in Palm Springs and hiked into Keats Canyon, and it was glorious. It was the rock formations, the plants. It was just one of the most beautiful things I've seen. So it was rather wonderful. And the sunsets and sunrises were just spectacular, and it felt really freshening and refreshing from what we're going through these days. Yeah. So I get to pass this to, how about Thomas?
Okay, so I'd say in the gardens right now, the butterflies are incredible, you know, and watching them from the chrysalis and everything growing, and that's just amazing. And also the crocus and all the spring flowers are just popping up everywhere there, as well as at home with me. You know, there's right now the Pride of Madeira is just ready to burst open, and they're just going to be just incredible. And I'm sure at the rancho as well. I'm waiting to see Thursday. I'll be there to see the lavender or lilac, and that should be just beautiful. So anyway, spring has sprung, and I love this time of year. It's just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So I think I would like to pass this now to, how about Megan?
Thanks, Tom. Great to see you. All of you inspire me, of course. I walk my dog a lot, and I live near the ocean. And so the other day, it's kind of nature. It's not really blooming, but with the incredible wind, we had like 25-mile-an-hour winds, and yet there I was with my hair blowing every direction. But coming across the sand, all of the wind made it look like a desert, and it was sunset, and it was just extremely beautiful and unexpected, because it usually just looks like a regular beach out there, but now it looked like the desert. So I really had fun watching that. I wouldn't have loved to sit out there very long, but I'll walk my dog. Genesis, I haven't met you yet, so I'd love to hear from you.
Hi, I'm actually an intern here at Rancho, and I just started 2 months ago. I'm working in the development department with Claire and Tessa right now, and I don't get to go onto the Rancho, sadly, per Cal State rules and terms and all that. But Tessa did take me on a tour a week or two after I started, and it was really great. The wisteria wasn't in bloom, and that was so sad, because that's one of the main things that you go to the rancho to see. But she did take us to the orchards, and the orchards were as beautiful as ever, and same with the gardens. There's a lot of flowers that I cannot name, but we got to see. I know the roses were beautiful. That's one flower I do know. But it was really amazing to see, and I hope that I can go back again really soon.
And you get to pick the next person, Genesis. We have a tradition of passing the mic.
Terry.
Oh, hi.
I love your hat.
Most inspiring for me was what I just saw yesterday. I mean, and I told some of you about it in my email, going back in the house. It was just deja vu. I haven't been in there for like 3 or 4 months, and it was just like, wow, this is the place I want to be for the next year or two or after. I want to be in there. I know everybody's talking about outside. How many of you, raise your hand if you've been inside the rancho lately? Anyone? Megan, yeah. Well, some of you that have gone inside there and walked around, it's like strange feeling because you haven't been in there for a while. And it's a good feeling. I have to say that. It's a wonderful feeling. And I hope all of us can get back in there soon, So
for anyone who tuned in late, Allison did let us all know that Laura will be sending an email in the next week or two asking for how people would like to be involved. So we look forward to getting all your responses. But thank you, Terry, for pointing that out.
Yes. And I'll hand it over to my friend over there at Cocoa Beach Pier, Mr. Bob.
Thanks, Terry. Actually, it was about a year and 2 days ago that I was swimming in the surf there in Cocoa Beach with my grandchildren. And we came home to COVID. But we just purchased a property in Arizona that's a little over 3 acres. It's a ranch. It's got a barn with 5 stables and a tack room and 2 3-bedroom, 2-bath houses on it. And we're going to be pretty busy putting it back into shape. I went for inspections last week, and then we took off from there, went down to Laughlin for a night and ate at the steakhouse there on the river, and then just got back from Vegas today. And I missed starting at 5:30 or 6:30 because I'm still confused on the time change. Arizona was not on daylight savings time, and then Laughlin was. And then I forgot all about it today when I got home. But yeah, I filled in one of those blanks for you, Laura, on Friday. And I finally signed up on that new little website thing. I don't know how I like it yet. You know how new things are, we have to go through changes. But every time something new comes up, we got to learn new tricks. But we'll get through it. So life's pretty good for us. We're going to be really busy. This house is by no means ready to move into, but we do have a tenant in one of the houses that we're going to be able to keep and maintain. So it's not going to cost us very much a month for this property. It's in the Verde Valley between Prescott Valley and Sedona, or Cottonwood, anybody that knows Arizona. And when we went to Laughlin from Camp Verde, we went up 89, not 89A through Sedona, but the 89 that goes through Chino Valley, and all the, what are they, juniper pines were just frosted with snow. And it was like 36 degrees when we drove up to Laughlin. It was beautiful, but yeah, it's nice to be back home though. So we'll be seeing you at the ranch.
Robert, you get to pick someone, and also you gave me the foray to say anyone who tuned in late, you can always catch the beginning on YouTube.
All right, yeah, okay, great. Mr. Robson, you're looking dapper.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Well, I'm trying to connect here.
You're good, Greg.
You can just push the space bar, Greg. Just push the space bar and hold it down.
Okay, I've unmuted. Is that better? Any better then?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Beautiful. Okay, well, tomorrow is a momentous day, St. Patrick's Day, which means that 90 years ago, 9-0, Avis Llewellyn and Jr. moved into the rancho. So I have my purple cow ready to toast the momentous event. So I thought I would dress in at least half of my costume that I portray Llewellyn Bixby Sr. in, and give the toast to Avis Llewellyn and Llewellyn Jr. for remodeling the house that we all love to go to. So cheers, everyone. And I pass this off to Floyd and Nancy Phillips.
Well, rather than press the like Greg did, unmute myself or unmute ourselves. A lot of things. There's a bunch of people who can't seem to hear me. Am I coming through loud and strong enough there? Yeah, okay. We've been We had about half of it taken down, and we're in the process of looking around for plants to stick into it. We've been learning French, working on that for almost a year now. Over a year now, yeah. Yeah, and I got involved with a Photoshop seminar, so I can up to date on all the latest stuff in Photoshop. That occupies a lot of time, and then every now and then we do the ranch show. We're looking forward to them, just like Terry said. Got an itch. I'd like to get into that ranch show again, and got to figure out how to give tours with face masks and things like that. I'm sure for another year at least.
No.
No, no, not gonna happen. She said.
Now, one of the best things that happened to us this last week, as far as I'm concerned, had nothing to do with plants, but last Tuesday was Floyd's birthday, and we had the whole family to dinner unmasked. It was very exciting. I haven't seen my unmasked family for a year. So we felt safe. 3 of the 7 of us are fully vaccinated. And then we have my son-in-law works with my grandson, even though they're not vaccinated. They're together every day. My daughter, of course, lives with her husband. The only one kind of out of that bubble is my granddaughter, but figure my daughter thinks she may have had one of the low-grade COVID infections anyway. So we felt quite safe having dinner. We were just socially distant in the house, but unmasked, and it was so exciting. Very nice birthday.
And then my son called from Ireland.
They're in full lockdown. We probably won't be able to go this year, which makes me sad, but maybe at the end of the year.
Who do you want to pass to?
Let's pass to haven't talked yet.
I'm enjoying.
Oh yeah, I am enjoying.
Spacebar doesn't work for us, unfortunately. Have to unmute. Well, what have we been doing? After the rain, all the plants in our yard are springing to life. The lavender has a lot of purple buds on it. It's wonderful to see that. The rose bushes are sending out fresh leaves. So the future is looking good for our yard. And almost every day we walk over towards the rancho, and when the gates are open, we often go in, and we're looking forward to seeing the wisteria. Very much so.
And our red body is fully blossoming.
Yes. There's more. Anyway, we're just glad that we're vaccinated, and we're looking forward to seeing all our friends, including those at the rancho. And we wish you well. And I'll pass this. Oh, here, you want to?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
What?
You were going to say something.
No, we can pass it to Gail and
Jean.
Yes. Oh, no. There we go.
Hi again.
Okay, can you hear us?
Now that Jean. There's 2 Jeans. We're a pair
she
of
said
Jeans.
Gail. I thought she said.
I'm one. He's Jean 2. I'm one.
Okay, now you got to make a choice. Which Jean do you like better? Come on now, speak up.
Oh, okay, Jean 2. Okay, go.
He's on first.
He's on second.
We are supposed to get, well, no, we are going to get carpeting in a week from Friday. So we have painting the interior of our house like mad, and we're still not done. We have the living room to do because, you know, we're basically using our old carpeting as a drop cloth. You know how that is. Oh, I can get really down to the baseboards now. Anyway, that's about it for me.
Oh, as far as myself, I think I want to start a new hobby. Dana's brother is a ham radio operator, and we've been conversing because I copied the Morse code when I was in the Air Force. So he sent me, and I'll be able to practice. I can still copy the code, but not as fast. And I'm thinking about becoming a ham radio operator because that's the only way I can, for Brother Tim, that I can actually code to him and we can code back and forth. We might do it on a Zoom, but thank God for Zoom. But yeah, he sent me this little toy and I can practice my Morse code. Isn't that cool?
Keeps him out of my hair.
Anyway, good to hear from you, Jean and Diana. We actually said Gail and Jean.
Yay! Too bad, Jean.
As I said, after all, you're my father, so I'm
Well.
to you.
Well, most mornings after we have breakfast, we go and find El Dorado Park a lot of times. The park by the senior center, where they have the roller skating and they have all kinds of sports, tennis and everything. And when you and you can get away from everybody walking around. But the other morning, we went, about a week ago, we went down this one road that we walk down all the time. And there were about 6 of these beautiful trees. I see them now all over. They're a pink flower, and I have no idea what they're called. But they are, it was just absolutely beautiful. Oh, and we're getting our second shot this Thursday.
Yes.
Oh, is Linda Midget here?
But, you know, I've been watching Leslie, and she has kept the same happy smile on. I just think that's absolutely amazing. I'd like to hear from Leslie. You don't have to stop smiling.
Oh my gosh. That's why I had my smile on, because we're in the dark. Anyway, it's great for us to see all of you. And you know, thank you so much, Diana and Francis, for your presentation. You know, both this time with your presentation and last time when we heard from Floyd and Dale. It just was so really so inspiring to see not just the time, but the expertise of our volunteers and what you've contributed to the Rancho, and just so many days and hours of work. And so anyway, I've really appreciated what's been shared the last couple of times. So thank you all. And thanks, Laura, for from my point of view, reminding me about spring. I've been, you know, I'm working still and on Zoom so many hours of the day that, you know, the reminder to look outside, you know, what's going on. So spring to me, I've enjoyed the storm that we had the last couple of days, and the rain and the wind, and seeing we have a Palo Verde tree in front of our house that wasn't getting enough water, and now it's blooming. So anyway, good to see everybody. Here's my smile back. Oh, okay. So wait.
Marcia?
Marcia? Did Marcia go already?
Okay, I'll talk. I can talk.
Okay.
First of all, haven't gone anywhere for over a year and a half, except that I walked outside in my backyard the other day and I didn't have eye patch on, so I could actually see. The Rancho has gifted me over the years plants and things, but the Lady Banksia, I was fascinated to see. It was so thick of yellow off bloom, and then the irises were in bloom, and the daffodils that they had planted. So that was great. And then I've been working really hard for the Braille Institute on recreating the Morton Bay fig tree out of paper mache and a bunch of other things to make the tree. And then now I'm making a movie for them about the tree. So I was happy that I got the movie done and approved by the people and the trees done. So that's been great for me. But hopefully I'll be able to see you guys someday soon, but no promises from the doctors yet. And tell me who else hasn't had a choice, had a talk so I can pick somebody.
I think everybody's gone, haven't they?
We did have Sandra share from YouTube. She has a newish avocado tree and she saw blooms on it. So she's hoping for avocados.
Oh.
Yum.
Squirrels.
Yes.
Okay, everybody. Thanks for coming, and thank you from me, Diana. That's an amazing amount of work you've done, and it was very interesting. It's great to have you on board. So let's wind up. Just a little reminder of volunteer opportunities. Gardening going on Tuesdays and Fridays mornings. Let Marie know if you're not a regular. Garden crafts, first Friday will be coming up sooner than we know. And they are making incredible things. You should come by and see the beautiful candles they made with flowers on them. The real dried flowers on the candles. They're just gorgeous. Curatorial work days. Sarah and I are working together because Sarah's only on site one day a week, but you can schedule to come and do curatorial work on days when I'm there. So let Sarah know and we can arrange that, and we'd love to have that going. And public hours, as I was saying, I'm still looking for somebody this Saturday. I did notice that one volunteer who was previously on signed up for another day next week. And I will, after we're done with this, 2 clicks and everybody will have an hour and a half of volunteer enrichment added to their volunteer record. So maybe it doesn't excite you, but it excites me. Our virtual coffees on the 2nd and 4th Monday will be one this coming Monday at 10 o'clock. And next month will be a very, very special virtual gathering because it is Volunteer Appreciation Month. And stay tuned. We will be revealing this very special surprise in Quick Notes. And save the date, September 21st. We are expecting we will be able to all gather in person. So, and honor all of you wonderful volunteers. So save that date, September 21st.
That was our much postponed volunteer gathering from last April, from this April. We're really optimistic. 3rd Tuesday in September.
So we'll see you all then, but many times before. And thanks for coming and good night.
Night.